Your entire reality that you experience out your entire life is completely shaped via your belief systems. What you believe to be true about the world, which is your worldview, and then also what you believe to be true about yourself, which forms part of your identity. And the crazy thing is you can have these feelings of certainty about something, you can have these belief systems about something which aren't actually necessarily true. The reason this controls your reality is because we have something in our brain called the reticular activating system, the RAS. And the reticular activating system is responsible for filtering through all of the millions of sensory inputs that you get on a daily basis, the things you see, the things you hear. And the role of the RAS is to basically help you ignore subconsciously all of the things that aren't relevant to you, and then actually draw your attention to the things that are relevant to you. It's the same reason that when you're thinking of buying a certain make of car, suddenly you start seeing that car more frequently. It's not because it wasn't there before and it is there more frequently now. It's because now, where in the past your RAS would ignore it, and now it filters it to draw your attention to it. And when you have a feeling of certainty about something, you believe something to be true about the world, or you believe something to be true about yourself, like the Bible says, seek and you shall find. And what the brain does is it looks to seek out evidence to support that belief. If you believe at an identity level you are a stupid person, your brain subconsciously, without even you realizing you're doing it, is going to seek out evidence to support that belief. If you believe that all wealthy people are evil and that money is scarce, you are going to ignore things that oppose that, and then your brain is going to seek out and draw your attention to evidence that supports that. But the important thing to understand with belief systems is that a belief system can either be empowering or it can be limiting. An empowering belief system is something that helps you grow and become a better person, a better version of yourself. A limiting belief is something that limits you and holds you back. And a lot of the time, I'm a big believer that success in property, in business, in entrepreneurship, in relationships, in every area of your life, a lot of it is downstream from psychology. And a big part of this is overcoming these belief systems that are limiting you. Some of you might be consciously aware of, some of them you're probably not aware of yet. But as you become aware of what limiting beliefs are, and as you begin to listen to the things you say to yourself and you're in a dialogue, you want to start questioning these beliefs. Is this something I actually believe to be true? Or is this something that's been programmed into me and I've convinced myself for it to be true? And I have a rule. And that rule is I don't believe anything that doesn't serve me. And so I believe that money is abundant. I believe that there is more opportunity now than ever before. I believe we're living in one of the best times to live. These are all empowering belief systems. I believe I'm capable of figuring anything out. I believe I'm capable of achieving whatever I set my mind to. I believe there is literally nothing that I can't do if I just commit. And these are belief systems that I've had to train and condition into myself. And there's a whole process of how you can replace these belief systems that are more limiting and replace them with more empowering belief systems and condition your nervous system, your mind to really adopt these beliefs. But that's the conversation for another time. But what I wanted to share in this video, and now that you're more aware of what belief systems are and hopefully you can catch on to them, is I wanted to share with you some empowering belief systems, 5 really powerful belief systems that I will want you to adopt so you can go and have more success, more opportunity in your life. So belief number 1 is that what one man can do, I can do. And the reason I love this one is because very often we look at these people that are way ahead of us, that are achieving these incredible things, and we think there's no way I could do that. And that's some language that I've heard people say to themselves. They look at what someone's saying and think there's no way that I could do that. I recently did an ultra marathon. It's nicknamed the toughest foot race on earth. It's a 250 kilometer run across the Sahara Desert, the hottest desert on earth, over 7 days, carrying a 10 kg backpack in 40 plus degree heat. And when I tell people about it and they ask me about it, they say to me, oh, no, I could never do that. I was like, well, I know they could. I know if you do the training and you do the right preparation, the body will adapt and you will be able to do it. And the reason I signed up for it and I knew that I could do it is because I have this belief system of if someone else can do it, then so can I. And if I see all of these other people, many of which are much older than me, to the point where it's a disadvantage, I'm a young man in my 20s and I'm seeing 60, 70-year-olds doing it. I'm seeing people that are slightly overweight doing it. I'm seeing old, overweight women doing it as a young, athletic man, for me, that's enough evidence to support, well, if someone else can do it, I can do it. And even if those doing it are actually, in shape people my same age, I still believe that if they can do it, I can do it. And this is a belief system that you adopt once you start surrounding yourself with successful people. Because actually, once you start surrounding yourself with people that are living and achieving the things that you want to achieve, what you quickly realize is they are just like you and I. And that's a really empowering thing that happens. And I've hosted, for example, a mastermind event in Dubai last December. I've done a few at this point, and we'll maybe do another one this December. And a lot of people come to this mastermind. We host it in a beautiful villa on the Palm in Dubai, like a $20 million villa. We have a private chef cooking for us. And I really want to create this inspirational, immersive environment for people to learn. And throughout the course of the 4 or 5 days, we have a load of experiences, but we have these incredibly successful guest speakers that come. Typically, these are business owners and entrepreneurs that have built multi 8, really even 9-figure businesses. So their businesses are worth over 100 million or generating over 100 million pounds. And a lot of people that come to these masterminds with this intention of, I want to learn this particular thing, or I want to solve for this, and I want to do this. But actually, one of the most powerful things I've observed that happens is that these attendees, they're all successful people. They're much earlier stages of their career. Maybe typically their businesses are doing 6 figures, maybe you've just touched 7 figures in income. And the most empowering thing that happens is they spend time, they're in proximity with these hyper successful people that they maybe put on a pedestal, and they quickly realize, actually, they're just like me. And what that does is it really conditions this belief that, well, if they can do it, there is really no reason why I can't do it. And especially when you hear these people's stories and you realize, actually, they had, they didn't have an advantage when they started out. They started out from scratch. They actually had access to less resources than we have available to us right now with AI, etc. So one thing that you really want to convince yourself of is that if someone else can do it, then so can I. I just wanted to interrupt this video to invite you to my next 2-day mastermind I'm hosting here at my home in London. These are 2 very intense, very transformational days where you're learning not just from me, but 5 and 6 other property entrepreneurs that are operating at the 7 and 8-figure level with their property businesses. I can fit 8 people around my dining room table, so it's very intimate, it's very intense. I take everyone for a beautiful dinner on the first night. It's a Friday and Saturday, and over the course of the 2 days, it's a full deep dive into how to really play a bigger game with your property business, how to raise capital from private investors, how to find these investors, how to structure the financing, how to build your brand and build an audience of people that know, like, and trust you, that presents so much more opportunity of being able to find investors and have more deals come your way, how to actually find high quality deals, how to analyze these deals, and how to really scale. We're going to take your psychology to the next level, and ultimately you're going to have a level of clarity and knowledge and skill sets and network coming away from this event, which are going to allow you to take a quantum leap forward in your property business. A lot of people say they were a different person leaving the event that when they arrived. And so if you want to find out more, the first link in the description of this video will be a link to me explaining the event in a bit more detail. And if it's something you'd like to explore, you can fill out a form and book in a call with myself where we can make a decision together if it's something you'd like to be a part of. Back to the video. The second belief system we want to adopt is that hard things are good. We grow up in life often avoiding hard things. We want to go for the easy route, the most, simple, less painful route. But actually, Jeff Bezos didn't become one of the richest men alive by thinking, what is the quickest, easiest, most simplest business that I can build? He did it because he did something hard. The same with Elon Musk. And actually, when you kind of take a step back and just study the universe, you actually understand that on the other side of hard things is a meaningful life. Because the road to heaven feels like hell, and the road to hell feels like heaven. And the pendulum of the universe, it always swings both ways. And so if you want to live this easy life, the way you're undisciplined and you're chasing cheap dopamine and whatever, well, there's a cost associated with that. And the cost is you're going to live a life that's not that meaningful, not that fulfilling. You get to the end of your life and you're not going to be the person you wish you become. One of my favorite quotes is that hell is the place where the person you are meets the person you could have been. Whereas if you're someone that's committed to doing hard things, if you want to have the best physique you can possibly have and the best health you can physically have, there's a cost associated with that. And that cost is you have to be prepared to do hard things, which is waking up and you're dragging yourself to the gym and pushing yourself through a tough workout every single day. It means being disciplined with your diet. If you want to impact hundreds of thousands or millions of people, there's a price associated with that. It's going to be hard. If you want to achieve success in anything, in relationships, and have a committed, loving, incredible relationship, there is a cost associated with that. Is going to be hard. And so you have to learn to love hard things. And so where this belief system really serves you is when the universe starts throwing these challenges at you and these problems at you, you want to really actually be inspired to do it and follow through with it because it's hard. Like, do it because it's hard, and understand that this best version of yourself, this person that you want to become, that's living the life that you want to live, they're going to be grateful that you're going through all of these problems and you're doing hard things now, because it's training you and it's equipping you for becoming someone that's better equipped to tackle harder things inevitably further down the line. So understand that everything you want in life is on the other side of hard, but hard is good, and things are only hard until it isn't. It's like riding a bike. It's hard at first, but it's hard until it isn't. So embrace the resistance and do hard things. Number 3, I believe that every problem has at least 3 solutions. And so your success, especially in business, is based on how good you are at solving problems. And you are only as good as your ability to solve problems. And if you think that in business, in life, things are going to go 100% your way, 100% right, 100% of the time, the universe is never going to meet that expectation. And so you've got to be prepared to face problems. You've got to be prepared to solve problems. And the best people in business are the best problem solvers. And so I believe when I'm faced with a problem, is that not that every problem has a solution. Like, that's level 1 belief system. For me, I believe that every problem has at least 3 solutions. When I'm faced with a problem, I ask myself, what are the 3 solutions? And when you ask yourself questions, your brain is forced to come up with answers. And if you keep telling yourself there's at least 3 solutions to this, it will come up with at least 3 solutions. Now, 1 or 2 of those solutions might not be the best solution, but at least then, whatever the best solution is of the 3, it will become apparent. So whenever you're faced with problems, ask yourself, what are the 3 solutions to this problem? Rather than just being focused on the problem, because you don't win by focusing on problems, you win by focusing on solutions. The 4th belief system is that I am 100% responsible for my life and where I am right now. And this is a bit of an inconvenient truth, because if you're watching this and you're not exactly where you think you should be in life, well, actually, I'm here to tell you where you are right now is exactly where you deserve to be. Where you are right now is just a product of all of the decisions you've made up until this point in your life. And that might sound, like I say, like an inconvenient truth. And suddenly your brain might start come up with these stories and excuses to say, well, that's not true for me because of this. And, I had this thing happen to me, which was outside of my control. And you're going to come up with all of these bullshit stories to try and help you cope with the fact that the reason you're not where you're at is because it's not your responsibility. But I'm here to tell you that one of the most important things you can do is just accept that everything in life is your responsibility. But the exciting thing with this is that, well, any future success that you want to have is entirely up to you as well. Because this isn't the movie, the cavalry isn't coming to save you. There's no one coming to save you. There's no one coming to save your family, your friends, your finances, your business. It is just down to you. Everything is your fault, but everything can happen that you want to happen because of you. So just accept responsibility, stop pushing the blame to other things and other people, start looking in the mirror, but start realizing actually that everything I want is down to me and it can happen because of me. It's my responsibility to make it happen. And then lastly, the 5th most empowering belief system that I believe I've held on to for a big part of my life is that I can do anything I set my mind to. I grew up, actually, I'm going to show you guys. I was indoctrinated as a kid. Let me just grab something. So I've got something here which I signed in January 2006. So I would have been 9 years old. And you can see my signature there at the bottom. And this is called the Newman Family expectations. And it is a list of maybe 25 or 30 bullet points that my mum and dad, most likely my dad's idea, made me and my sister sign when I was 9 years old. My sister would have been 6 or 7 years old. And one of them, towards the bottom, it says, never say I can't. And in our household growing up, I owe everything to my family, my parents. I won the lottery, and a big part of who I am today is who I was conditioned to be and basically indoctrinated to be from an early age, as I'm showing you. But I was indoctrinated to believe from a very young age that you cannot use the word can't. That with the famous Henry Ford quote, he who says he can and he who says they can't are both usually right. In our household, the C word was can't. Like, you shouldn't say the C word. And I then obviously grew up believing that. And I believe that actually I can achieve anything I set my mind to. When you believe that, you then follow through with action. And so when I signed up to do an Ironman at 18 years old, I was when I signed up for it. I think I was 19 when I actually finished it, or actually completed it. There was not a doubt in my mind that I couldn't do it. I believed if someone else can do it, I can do it. I can do anything I set my mind to. When I signed up to do the toughest foot race on earth, yeah, there was always some doubts and some anxieties, but I know that I can get it done when it comes down to it. I know when I set a goal in business that there is no reason why I can't do it. And so it's a very simple one, but it's something you must condition yourself to believe, that I can do anything I set my mind to. And if you really don't believe that, I encourage you to go out and look for evidence. Start surrounding yourself with other people that are achieving great things, and you will see a version of yourself in them, which will excite you. Because, like I said with the first point, if someone else can do it, so can you. And that will help you condition the belief that you can do anything you set your mind to. So if no one ever told you that, well, I'm telling you that you can do anything you set your mind to. But there are 5 empowering belief systems, some of which you may have heard before, but sometimes just hearing it again from a different person at a different point in your life might spark something. So hopefully there's some value there. See you guys on the next video.